What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Road Graders. And today I have a very special episode as I'm bringing on one of the true fan favorites of the Baltimore Ravens over the last few years. Coming out of the University of Oklahoma, this 10-year veteran of the NFL spent a good chunk of his career in Baltimore. Fans grew to love him, loved when he came back to the team. During his career, he became one of the most successful undrafted free agents of the 2010s, amassing almost 500 tackles, 9.5 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, 4 picks, and 24 PBUs. Please join me in welcoming one of my favorite players to follow for the Baltimore Ravens. It's Tony Jefferson. TJ,
Yo,
my man,
yo,
how's it going?
it's going great, bro. Thanks for
Awesome,
having me
man.
on, bro.
Awesome, and I want to start because a lot of fans after you announced your retirement started following along because you joined the Ravens in a scouting and player personnel role. So, can you tell us a little bit about that and what you're up to nowadays?
Yeah, so immediately, really after I got done playing, I spent my last year playing in New York. Um, and after the season, I kind of contemplated whether I wanted to continue to play or not. And me and Eric DaCosta, we have a really good relationship. It's one of my good friends. And just kind of leading up to towards the end of my career, we talked about scouting and opportunities there. So um, there was this the Nun Wooten, which is kind of like an internship, and that was available uh, for the organization. So I took that opportunity, and I went in and I began scouting, and I spent really the whole year, with the team scouting. And I really enjoyed it. A lot of hard work, a lot of hours, and like I said, I have a new profound respect for scouts, bro. Like the amount of time, the amount of tape that they grind, the amount of time that they spend away from their families is like it's crazy, and it's all just to help build a championship roster, championship team, and it's just everybody collectively working together. And I really loved how everything was ran, how everything is done there. Obviously, the Ravens is around the league and around the world. Everybody knows how profound the organization is and the front office is. It's one of the best, if not the best, and just really well rounded everywhere. I as a player, you don't really see the scouts, and like I mean, you see them on the sidelines at practice, but you never really have that much of conversations with them. Um, and I really got to know those guys upstairs, and they're they become like friends to me. And they're really cool people. They're just hard, dedicated workers. And I've I I stepped away really just because family. I got a bunch of young kids who they're staying on the West Coast, and I was on the East Coast. I was trying to fly home every away game to come see them for the weekend, and that just wasn't justified for them. They wanted more dad, so I just took a little break for now. There's a possibility I might return, and we'll see. We'll go from there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah, we love to hear that.
Yeah.
Definitely, and you say players don't see the scouts, fans definitely don't see the scouts.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
we're all pitchbooks and cheers for Eric DaCosta, but I mean, it's
Right.
the work that the scouts do. Kind of 365 days a year. That's the the boots on the ground. So it's
Right.
awesome to kind of get to see that other side of the football ops department. So that's
For
really awesome.
sure. Definitely.
And I work from home for my career, so my kids want less dad. So nothing but the
Yeah.
most respect for that decision.
Yeah, no, I've been home for a few months, and I think they're kind of veering towards that too. Like, hey, when are you going back to Baltimore?
Yeah, yeah. Dad's going back to work. They're gonna start
Yeah,
sending in CVs for
exactly.
you. And when I do these, I love to start kind of back at the start, and kind of learn about how you grew up in football. So, I know you were born and raised in the San Diego area, attended East Lake, which is in Chula Vista, which is just
Hmm.
outside San Diego. So like, was football something that kind of ran in your family, or what was kind of your introduction to the sport?
Yeah, so my older brother, he's 4 years older than me. Um, Ever since I started playing when I was 4, and my brother, he was obviously 8, and he was entering the tackle football mighty might era. So I was really just intrigued by watching him, and he kind of was really my role model in it. And then at that time, you're watching the NFL, you're playing Madden, you're playing video games, like you want to do that. And like football is like really an easy sport to like. It's 11 guys on each side, and the other side's chasing each other just to get a pigskin. And I think he kind of brought that into my life, just being physical. And I always like being physical. I like just tackling, hitting people. I remember in kindergarten, I got in trouble, got a phone call home because I was tackling kids in class, and like, so I've always been just that type of person, honestly. And I started playing. I was successful early. I remember in flag, the number one play was quarterback sneak, and I would score pretty much almost every time I got the ball. I would literally hike the ball and trample my center and step on them. And
you were doing the
gone.
tush push before Jalen Hurts did.
I started that in 1996. Just
I love that.
Yeah. So it just progressively and I always wanted to, like, having my older brother, I always wanted to play with the older kids. So like I was always the younger kid playing on like these older teams. And I think that also helped me really with my game, because I never really was afraid to play against the older guys. And as I progressively got older, like I started to realize, wow, there might be a possibility I could go somewhere with this. We moved over to Chula Vista at the end of middle school, and Chula Vista was kind of a new area. It was kind of like a brand new like little city, so football wasn't really that big, and I was able to showcase my talents there, and I brought a lot of really attention to the area. And when I was my last year in high school, we won the first CIF ring for our school. So I was very happy I was able to do that before I headed out to Oklahoma. Even leading up to that, I really could have chose where I wanted to go for college. People always ask me, well, how did you pick Oklahoma being from San Diego? And really, honestly, when I got my offer from USC in 10th grade, like, well, first I will admit I committed to Stanford. That was my very first offer with Harbaugh. So every time I see him, like, hey, bro, you're my very first offer. Like,
no way. Okay.
Yeah,
I was going to ask, because your rivals, if you go to your rivals profile and you hit the check more for every school, it's basically every Power 5 school.
Yeah. No, I literally could have went anywhere, and I committed to probably like 4 or 5 different schools, like verbally, and there was probably like 5 more that never even got out because, bro, it was hard. I was like, bro, I love this school. Like, Urban Meyer coming to the school, I'm like, Urban Meyer's here. Yeah, I'm committing. Pete Carroll come the next week. Yeah, I'm committing. Like, new Heisman coming. I'm like, yeah, I'm committed. So like, I was one of those kids. It was hard for me to pick, but in my mind and in my heart, I was honestly a USC Trojan. Like, and I still to this day I call myself an honorary Trojan, because at the Army All-American game before I fully committed to Oklahoma, there was a high chance that I was going to change my commitment and go to USC. But as we were at the All-American game, the sanctions came down on USC with Pete Carroll and everything, literally at the All-American game. So like, one of my best friends, his name is Dylan Baxter. He was like, I think like the number 5 recruit in the whole nation. And he was there and he was just bawling, crying. He's like, man, I can't believe it. Like, I always wanted to play for Pete Carroll, because he was committed to USC since his freshman year. So I was trying to get him to come to Oklahoma with us. I was like, bro, I'm not going there. They can't go to bowl games. I'm not going nowhere. You can't go to bowl games for 2 years and stuff like that. But he ended up staying. But yeah, I took the journey over to Midwest. I went to Oklahoma. It was rough at first, really rough. Like, it took me a while to adjust really to that type of culture. Being from San Diego, like city, and then going there, I'm like, where's the beaches? Like, where I've never dealt with snow. I remember when I first got
buildings?
There, I'm like, what is going on? Like, where am I? Like, why am I here? But I just remember I first got there and I had graduated high school early, so I was really only 17 years old, and I just get into this campus and I'm going to these hard workouts. I've never worked this hard. Like I never had to do workouts like this. Um, and I just remember being there. I'm like, bro, why am I here? And like I'm going on Facebook. All my friends are like going to winter formal. Like all my friends posting pictures at like the local parties. I'm like, man, I'm over here in Oklahoma, and I'm like, I got to go to learning specialist. I got to go to class all day, then practice, and like I just remember I was really struggling when I first got there. But I had a long talk with Bob Stoops and Brent Venables. We sat down and just kind of mapped out, where they thought what they thought I could do for the program, and if I stuck with it, and I stuck with it. And my freshman year, I was able to get freshman All-American. I was All-American my freshman year.
Yeah, you definitely didn't struggle on the field. Like,
Yeah,
but
no.
that was, you were there. You got there in like January then,
Yeah, I got
before
there
the
in
season.
January.
So you kind of
Yeah,
had a bigger lead up than most people that would have enrolled in the spring or the fall.
yeah. And I'm glad. Yeah, and I'm really glad I did that. I'm really glad I did that because it gave me time to
Right.
adjust, and it gave me the opportunity to go through those things early so that I could be ready for by the time fall came, and I was ready.
So on the field, what do you think led to such an easy transition? Because you're playing at a big P5 school, no red shirt, you're an instant starter, incredibly productive. What do you think led to just being able to kind of hit the ground running on the field?
I think it goes back really to what I said earlier. Just when I was younger, I always played with the older guys. So
Right.
like me, just being surrounded by like all the seniors and the juniors, I was able to just go in and fit in. And then at the same time, uh, Venables, he let me play nickel, and he was just like, bro, just go be you. Like we brought you here for a reason. Um, we love the style that you play with. Like, just let it loose. And by that, once he told me that, I just let it loose. He had me a nickel. He was blitzing me. He was just like, just go. And like sometimes it bit me in the ass, but most of the time I was making plays, bro. And I was just like, I felt comfortable in that system. I felt comfortable with Brent Venables calling the plays and putting me in the right position. And yeah, it was just really a really successful time for me, especially my freshman year.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
I think you tweeted about it, or you had a post about it. What was that record again against Texas?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Is that your
Great.
most proud college
Wow, it,
accomplishment?
it it really is. It really is. It really is. Because like when you're in the league, you come across so many guys that like are at these Power Five schools, obviously, but like a lot of guys go to Texas. Like Justin Tucker. I mean, every time OU Texas was playing, I'm like, bro, you can't say anything to me, bro. Like you literally can't. Like I was undefeated against you guys. Like, and I felt like that rivalry it's a great rivalry, by the way. Like splitting the stadium in half burnt orange, half crimson, like great rivalry. But the fact that I could hang my hat on that and say I went 3-0 in that series, because I was only in college for 3 years, so
Right.
um, it to me it's a big accomplishment because I know how big of a game and how much value that game has.
Yeah,
So
no, that's awesome. And
yeah.
going into the draft, you were rated as a top 10 safety. I know you injured your hamstring at the combine. Can you tell me a little bit about the pre-draft process, kind of, what went well, what didn't go well during that whole kind of time?
Yeah, so before you go into the draft, you get a grade. Like a scout comes in, watches your film, and then he prints out a sheet. And Bob Stoops, a head coach at the time for Oklahoma, he calls us in, the underclassmen, and he shows us what they wrote. And I got a second and third round grade, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna take that. I'm just gonna roll with it. Um, and I felt like I honestly didn't think I would be undrafted, but I think I want to blame other people and other things, but as I grow and I get older, I don't know if I necessarily took the correct actions leading up to it that made me feel like I was trying to put myself in best position to get drafted. I was I think I made a mistake by trying to train in Hollywood. I think I don't know if I was very focused or as focused as I
So like
should
you
have.
went back home to train type deal,
Well, no,
or
I was in Hollywood,
oh,
LA.
like okay, literally, I got you.
No, like
Yeah.
no, like I was actually training in the city Hollywood.
I gotcha.
Uh, as a 20-year-old, just I don't know if that was necessarily the greatest spot for me to be, and I don't think I handled it the way I think I should have. Going into the biggest interview of my life.
Right.
So I could sit here and blame and say, oh, they said this and say that, but as I grow, like I said, and as I get older, I take accountability really for my actions, and basically I don't know if I put myself in the best position for that. So just leading up to that, I thank God I didn't throw a party on draft day. I had I had all these news people coming. They wanted to come film and do all that, and thank God I was just like, nah, I just want to spend it with my family here.
Right.
And so
I mean, one of the advantages of going on draft is you get to pick, right? So
yeah.
Arizona approaches you. What was it about the Cards at that time that kind of drew you in?
So basically, when you don't get drafted, you're like, if you're a high priority, there's going to be a bunch of teams calling you.
Right.
So I had a bunch of teams calling to be a preferred. It's like being a preferred walk on, basically.
Right.
And at that time, I was so upset that I didn't get drafted. I told my agent to pick for me, CJ LeBoy at the time from Octagon.
Okay.
I told him, you know what? I was like, I don't even care. Just you see what's the best fit for me. Look at the depth chart, see where I have an opportunity. You tell me, because I couldn't even talk. I was speechless. My mom was crying. Everybody was just like, it was a sad scene, I will say, at the Jefferson's household at that time. And then my agent called me back and he's like, we're going to do Arizona. So I got on the phone, talked to the coaches, and the rest was history, really.
Okay. And was there any vets when you kind of got into the Cards locker room that kind of took you under their wing?
Yeah. So there's Patrick Peterson. Obviously, he was the guy there, and we hit it off right away. He was a homie. He was a boy, and he definitely was the vet that kind of took me under his wing. It just kind of showed me the way. I had Rashad Johnson, Jeremiah Bell, like older vets that were just probably kids now, have no idea who they are, but those guys were really meaningful to me in my career at that time. Gerard Powers. It was just the group that I was with on that defense. I couldn't have asked for like a better like mentoring group and better like leaders. I couldn't have asked for any better. So I was put into a really good situation. I was able to start a few games my rookie year as an undrafted free agent. I think it helped too that Todd Bowles, who was the defensive coordinator at the time, he also was an undrafted free agent who played safety, and he kind of was walking me through the life of like an undrafted safety. Like I just remember there was times during preseason I was balling out during the games in preseason, and then the next game I wouldn't play a snap. They just put me on special teams, and I just remember being down and all that. And I got lucky one game. And this is really just how the league works. I was third string safety at the time, third string strong safety, a guy ahead of me, a veteran who was a lock to make the roster at the time, Jonathan Amaya. He got hurt. So I went in on like the second series against the Cowboys, and I just went crazy. I had 2 interceptions, like 2 tackle for loss, like 9 tackles. Like it was just a crazy game. And that really just that was just the moment where it was like, okay, this dude has really separated himself from the rest of the rookie class besides Tyron. And it was just tough for them, I think, really to try to hold me for practice squad, because I know that's what they wanted to do. And now, since I was in the front office and I look back, I'm like, yeah, that's exactly what they were trying to do, because the next week I didn't play any defense.
I know they're hoping you don't go get
those 2 picks. Exactly. They're like, dang it. Now we're gonna actually have to put this guy on the 53-man roster because he won't make it. So
it's funny to see it from the other side, though.
Oh yeah, no, 1,000%.
We as fans talk about this all the time, especially in Baltimore, where we get so many good UDFAs on the defensive side of the ball, and we're like, just kind of like our Darius Washington was one of them, where just kind of like man, can you just like not
Yeah,
like maybe let's just sit him next game, like just chill.
exactly,
You'll just practice
exactly.
squad for the year.
Can
I'm
we,
gonna roster
can we
spot
just
opening
stash?
up.
Can we just stash this guy?
Exactly.
And that's basically that's the league right there. So
I feel like playing in Todd Bowles' offense or defense would be just such a good fit for you and your play
yeah,
style too. So that was
yeah.
kind of fit like a glove as well in Arizona. And those are some good defenses.
Oh man, we had some fantastic defenses. I think 2015 we're like the number 2 defense. Like we were up to, I mean, we had some ballers like every year. I
So
mean,
did you have a rookie moment? Everybody has that rookie welcome to the NFL moment. Did you have one? Do you remember it?
yeah, so my welcome was I was on kickoff, and this is where keep your head on the swivel comes into play, where you
Okay.
learn as Pop Warner. And so I had been doing pretty solid on kickoff. I had made a few tackles, and like me being a rookie unknowingly in the league, if you're making plays, they're going to design plays to make sure that you don't make plays. Like once they start seeing it on film, your opponents see that. I'm just running down on kickoff. I'm like, okay, well, let me go get another tackle. And bro, oh my gosh, bro. I gotta find a clip, but there was this tight end. He was like aligned on the opposite side of me. I'm on the left side of the kickoff team, and I'm just running down. I think I have a free lane, and I mean annihilated. Like my feet are in the air.
Okay.
Boom. And back then in 2013 or whatever, the rules of the helmet, but they didn't care that much. Like that was
Right.
like concussed, bro. Like concussed. I don't know how I continued to play in that game, but I was definitely out of there. And that was really my welcome to the NFL moment. And from that moment on, I really
Was that preseason or was that regular
no,
season?
it was a regular season.
Oh,
It was a
okay,
regular season
okay.
game.
So at least it took a few weeks.
Yeah. No, wow, and bro, like I promise, ever since then, like that was one of the moments where I'm like, well, if I'm running down anywhere, not even kickoff, head on a swivel, and
Absolutely.
yeah,
And you go on to have just a really strong career as a Cardinal. Going into that 2016 season, you're going through the UDFA ringer of kind of being restricted, exclusive rights, all
yeah,
that stuff. So you're going into your contract year. You absolutely ball out, like just a phenomenal year. Takes you into unrestricted free agency, where now you're one of the highest rated safeties in that free agency class. So what was the pitch from Baltimore? And I guess that would have been Aussie at the time. Eric
yeah,
didn't take over till 2018. So what's kind of the pitch from Baltimore that got you to land here?
yeah. So a big part of it was Eric Weddle.
Okay. I
Weddle.
had so many questions about it, Weddle, so this
Yeah,
is great.
yeah. No, Weddle. So the first interaction I ever had with Weddle was on Twitter. He sent me like the eyes emoji. I'm like, why? And at this, and this is before free agency even started. Like I didn't know like if Baltimore was interested in me or whatever. It was like the week leading up to it or something.
And he was only a Raven for like a year at this point. We already had him on the recruit. I love that.
Yeah. So he sent me a tweet with like the eyes. I'm like, what the heck? Like, I love Weddle, but we hadn't talked besides like running into each other like in games or anything. And so we hit him up. He's like, bro, you balled out, blah, blah. He's just talking about how my season went and all that. But he didn't really say anything about like Baltimore, like being interested or anything. He was just like shooting the crap with me, just going back and forth. And, come legal tampering day, because Baltimore, I will say, Baltimore does it the right way. They wait till it's time to talk to you, because there are teams who they
It was Pittsburgh,
beforehand.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Hey, let's dock them, take their draft picks, all that.
That's
All right,
it.
Roger. Like 8 years ago, they did that, Roger Goodell. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, Baltimore did it right. Eric Weddle, he really expressed how Baltimore viewed me as a player and how I fit, and how he was excited. He would be excited to work and play alongside with me. And like being from San Diego, like
Right.
this is Eric Weddle now. Like he's that guy around here. And it was crazy because I really was getting these offers, like bigger offers, because we're really just, me and my agent were really just trying to run the numbers up a little bit with Baltimore because the numbers were so high elsewhere, and I didn't like I was undrafted. Like I don't want to just completely throw away all the money I'm getting offered by these other teams, but they were able to scoot it up to where I felt was comfortable for me, and immediately, like that's really, I told my agent, I'm like, I want to go to Baltimore, so if we could like work this out in any way. So they did, got it to the number we wanted, and I mean, from the moment I stepped at one winning drive, like it was like I had been there my whole career. Like everything just kind of just fell into place, from Harbaugh, DeCosta, Ozzie, from everybody. Like everything was just like, it felt like home, and and I was really excited that I was able to do that. Uh, it was worth not taking money from the bigger money from other teams. I will say, I know a lot of people are like, bro, why would you leave that much money on there? I'm like, well, one team that offered me, I think they went like either 0-16 that following year, or like 1-15. So it was worth it.
We can look that up after.
Yeah.
Please
So
tell me it was the Browns.
hey, like I said, that information is out there for anybody to search. So yeah, I'm just blessed that I had the opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And you came
Yeah.
into a loaded safety room. I mean, you got Weddle, obviously, but then you had Ladarius Webb kind of right at the end, and you kind of came in and moved Ladarius Webb to more of like that nickel role where you kind of took on. So when you kind of came in, because I remember watching you in Arizona, and it felt like you didn't play as much of like that split safety look in there, and then you come to Baltimore, and now you're being asked to do that in Dean P's system, which was a little bit more straight up and not as flexible as we see with like Mike McDonald, even Wink Martindale. Right. So what was that transition like for you?
It was rough. And to Ravens fans in 2017, I apologize because I gave up some plays in 2017. I'm not gonna lie. It was very rough because I had never played in a split safety system.
Right.
I was always,
even back to your time at Oklahoma, like you literally just said. Yeah.
I had never, it was really my first time like playing like read, cover two, Tampa 2, like I had never really done that.
I had a compilation video when you came over of you just covering tight ends.
Oh yeah,
because that was like your specialty in Arizona. So I was like, we got and then when I remember in training camp, so I think it was Jeff Zrebic tweeted out something about you starting in the split look, Ladarius Webb, and I was like, I thought that was going to be TJ's role. It was to kind of be the Swiss Army knife.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that too when I got there. I thought I was gonna be coming off the edge, because that's. I mean, I think I still hold the record for TFLs in 2016 in Arizona. That's what I thought was gonna happen once I got to P1. I didn't really blitz that much. I was more playing deep, and that's just what it was. But I knew that offseason. Well, actually, everything turned when we lost to the Bengals on that last play with like 14 seconds left. Actually,
New Year's Eve.
What's a little?
I'll never forget that.
A little embarrassing. I actually cried on camera, bro. Like when I got interviewed in the locker room after the game, after we lost, I actually cried on camera because during the interview, I was so hurt because I felt like that year I let the defense down, I let the fans down. Like I felt like I wasn't the high price free agent that everyone thought I was coming in. So that offseason, like it motivated me so much. Like there was nights like I didn't sleep. I'd just get up and go work out. I'm like, my mom and dad were like, bro, you need to like relax. I'm like, no, I got to get it. Like, so we go into 2018 and I have a really good year that year. I was a Pro Bowl alternate. I did miss the 2 games against the Chiefs and the Falcons, which my DB coach was like, bro, if you would have played in those games, you would have had your Pro Bowl. But yeah, I just came back with a vengeance, bro, because I really felt like I let the fans and everybody down in that 2017 year. And but like I said, the whole scheme was all new to me, bro. I had never been involved in that type of situation.
Yeah, and that's something that, was one thing that's nice about the different media getting into, Twitter, YouTube, that kind of thing is there's a lot of people that kind of know the X's and O's and will kind of break things like that down because it was blatantly clear once and it was just the way Dean Pease like calls a defense. It's just, there's a lot less flexibility, especially like, even if you go and watch Mike McDonald last year and you see how he moved Kyle Hamilton around, I could only imagine you in that type of role where it's kind of playing in the slot, playing at the, the edge, the blitzes, that sort of stuff.
Exactly.
So, it's nice to have fans that can kind of, communicate that, give kind of the true story.
Exactly. For sure.
But I vividly remember that game because I think it was a 4 p.m. game, if I remember correctly. It's New Year's Eve. My wife is livid because we're supposed to be going out for New Year's Eve. Yeah. I'm trying to watch the end of the game.
Yeah.
And it just ends with me sulking in the car on the way
out. You're better off just going out, bro. Yeah. I apologize for that, bro. We folded at the end, bro. To this day, I have a strong dislike for the Bengals. Just like
same
for that game, bro. Like for that game, exactly. Like nothing else, bro. Like from that play, like I really don't like the Bengals. And Geno Stone, I told him all the time, like, bro, I'm happy for you, bro, but you went to the wrong squad, bro.
I know everyone was giving Patrick Queen a hard time, and I was kind of like, I at least respect the Steelers.
Yeah. Exactly.
I do not respect the Bengals.
I can't do it.
Yeah, that was a letdown seeing Geno go there and just never saw that coming, Yeah. It's the ones you never think are going to do it to you. And I mean, 2018, so you're going to that 2018 season, and what an interesting year in the offseason for fans because not only are we kind of transitioning, but the Ravens shock everyone, trade back up, and grab Lamar Jackson with the 32nd overall pick. And you're kind of part of that leadership group now. Like you're a year in, veteran, that sort of thing. So, what's kind of the reaction to see that? Like you guys had Joe. Joe was kind of the unquestioned. No one was going to come into camp and push him. And then the team goes out and gets like just such a dynamic playmaker in Lamar Jackson. So what's kind of the reaction from you guys as the players?
I vividly remember exactly where I was at when we were getting drafted. When he got drafted, we were at Jimmy Seafood doing a draft party. And
was everything wrapped up after they drafted Hayden? You guys think it's over?
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. We're already drinking a little bit, we're enjoying the fans, taking pictures, signing autographs. We're like, whoa, we got Hayden Hurst. Nice, let's go. But I watched college football.
Okay.
And I watched that dude from Louisville at quarterback. So when they drafted him, there has to be a video somewhere. Me, Marlon, we were running around Jimmy Seafood.
Oh, that's so sick. Okay.
Crazy at Jimmy Seafood. Like, we were going wild, insane. We're like, bro, we really just got Lamar Jackson. Like, that, like, and people, I feel like people didn't understand the talent we got at that time because I think
the media was just like,
yeah, it's like, okay, they got Lamar. We're like, did Lamar win the Heisman? Like, bro, like, come on. We just got Lamar Jackson. So we were really excited about it. We knew what type of player he was. So, man. Yeah.
And when you watched him, like, was the talent that apparent? Like, was it shocking kind of the media narrative that came around him?
Yeah. I mean, from the get-go, they're talking about receiver. Like, what? Like, there's no way. I want to know who the scouts are from these other teams who asked him if he would play receiver. Like, did you not watch what he did at quarterback?
Sometimes I think it's made up. Okay. I really do. Yeah, I don't know.
Like, I hope that's made up because if there's scouts and GMs who actually thought that, they don't need to be in the business because a player like that, to what he did with the football in his hands at quarterback, I mean, just turn on the game against Clemson. Like, you want that guy at receiver? No. So
yeah, that was one of the most electric football games I've ever watched.
Oh my God! Like,
and the talent disparity, and and that's been Lamar's career, has been just, even if his teams don't have the most offensive talent, he covers it up because of what he is.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a ball player right there.
And I want to talk a little bit about the 2019 season. I know you suffered an injury. I think it was the first week of October. So I mean, obviously you're on IR, supporting from the sideline, sort of thing. But was that in the locker room, around the team? Like, was it as special for the players, the team, as it was for fans? Because I don't think I've ever, even this season that just passed, I've never had more fun watching football than in
Yeah.
2019.
It was like we would go. Everyone was going into the week just knowing we were going to win. Like that's literally what the vibe was. Everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, we got what you call it this week."
Okay,
Like,
so what's that, the loss to Cleveland? I think it was week 3 or week 4.
oh
Was
my
that
god,
like, what's the reaction in the locker room? That, because I don't think you guys lost again.
yeah,
The
no,
rest,
we. I think I don't know if it was no, it wasn't after that week, but we did make that's. It was a couple weeks later when we made the trades and all that, got Marcus and all
right.
that. But that Browns game, oh my gosh, it was just like it was just disgusting. Like as a team, like I think we went in the film. Me, Harbaugh, but we all went and talked to him. We're just like, bro, that's not us. Like that's not who we are. And like as long as I've played with the Ravens, we've always had like there's always a game or two like that in a season where we're just like, what are we doing? And I think that happens across the NFL. And I think
Absolutely.
it was just one of those games. Like, Chubb running for like 98 yards. There's like a clip of me like on it where I'm like running like 99 miles per hour, like down, and he's running this way. Like, I don't know, bro. And it was just bad all around. Like nobody played well. And then I think the next week we played Pittsburgh, I think, and that might have been when I got hurt. But yeah, that was just one of those games where you just throw away the tape
Right.
because we know that wasn't who we are.
Right.
So
And it wasn't. And then you guys go
yeah,
on an
and then we
absolute
just going
heater.
around.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then yeah, I got hurt against Pittsburgh, and just a non-contact injury. Took a wrong step, and there it goes. And I knew once I got hurt because my guaranteed money was up after the 2018 season, so they kept me because I played well 2018. They didn't have to keep me. They kept me, and 2019 my season just ended short. So I already knew mentally. I'm like, okay, well, that was my last game. I know they're going to cut me, be on a new team probably. But that injury was just so severe that like it took me like 5 surgeries just to get back right.
Really, eh?
Yeah, no, that my knee was crushed. I crushed my LCL, ACL, some other stuff in there, and then I got surgery. Um, a few weeks after I had to wait a while to get surgery because I had like a turf burn on my leg, and they were like, you can get like an infection through the surgery, like with open wounds. So I had to wait even longer. And I remember getting on the airplane after I tore my knee, and like I didn't have any. It was late. I had no painkillers or anything, and I remember laying in bed, and to this day it was the worst pain I ever had. Like
Really?
laying in
Oh.
bed with like a torn ACL and LCL with no like pain meds or anything. Oh my gosh. I couldn't wait to get to the facility in the morning just so I can get some. Everything
I've
was
made this
closed.
point numerous times because there was a point from like 2019 to 2021 where it felt like when someone got hurt, it wasn't just like like Ronnie's ankle, Nick's knee. Like
Yeah,
it wasn't just like a straight up torn ACL. It was like the whole knee blew up, and then
right,
Ronnie has a complete ankle dislocation, and it's
right.
like I just fans are so hard on players coming back from injury, and you kind of expect them on that. Like if it's an ACL, it's like, okay, we'll see you in a year and you'll be
Right,
back to
yeah,
normal. And there's
yeah.
like no grace period for that. I mean, we just went through it with JK when, I mean, he was literally at one point you could tell like he would make a cut and be
Oh
in the
yeah.
open field and he just couldn't
That leg couldn't
sprint.
get up. Yeah, I
Like
know. I remember like seeing him
I'm
run
just
like
like
that
watching him
leg
run.
wouldn't
I'm
get
like,
up.
how is he even playing right now? And then,
Yeah,
second surgery, and then he gets back to himself. But
yeah.
that's got to be trying as a fan, especially like I don't know if you actually pay attention to social media, but like the reaction from people on social media while you're trying to recover, being critical, like that's got to be hard on players.
Yeah. I mean, I wish like I had the mindset that I do like that I had like my later years that I did like earlier. Cause like once I got older, I don't care. I don't care what they're saying, bro. It's like it because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
like who cares? Like they're like if this is what it is. If you play good, they're gonna tweet good crap about you. If you play bad, they're gonna tweet bad stuff about you. Like at the end
It
of the
is
day,
what it is.
it is what it is. Like you either play good or you play bad.
The
And like
people after that Browns game in 2019 were miserable, and then 2 weeks later, they were the happiest people in
oh,
the
hey,
world.
that's how it
Winning
goes,
heals
bro.
all wounds.
Winning heals all wounds, bro. I'm telling you, you could play bad, and if you guys win, you won't be. They're not as critical. But if you play bad and you guys lose, they're gonna be on your ass. Like that's just what it is. That's just the nature of the business. And I felt like that stuff like earlier on, like in my career, I kind of was paying attention to. But
Okay.
like once I got back from injury and like I really stopped giving a damn. I didn't care at all. Like really, like I would laugh at that point. Like I'd be like, yeah, you actually are right. Yeah, I missed like 3 tackles, bro. Like like that. It got to that point because like it's like, bro, like it doesn't matter. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think that's just part of the maturity, like just growing in the game, like mentally, like me getting older too. So
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, bro. That's
But I mean, you must have seen fans were ecstatic when you came back
oh
because
yeah,
you just were such a when I go back through the history of what play like a Raven mean and everything that we've already talked about with the
right,
physical downhill style, that's kind of throughout the 2000s, 2010s, that embodiment was your style of play. And
right,
so
yeah.
when we brought you back in 2021, like, did you see how pumped fans were? Like, is
Oh
that
yeah.
something that at least you saw that? Because
Oh man.
that's got to be
I
a nice
I
feeling.
I remember I came back and like just throughout the city, like when I was back, like it was just so much love like everywhere. And that like it inspired me a little bit because I'm like, man, like I got another opportunity to play. I mean, I had a short stint with San Francisco. I was over there in the beginning through training camp, and I think like 6, 7, 8 games. I don't know, like a few weeks, but I wasn't playing. Like I was really just posted up over there. I'm like, go to John. I'm like, yo, what am I doing? So I got released, and then as soon as I got released, Eric texted me. Zakasi texted me. He's like, you want to come in for a workout? I'm like, hell yeah! I came in like I think like 2 days later, worked out, and this is during COVID. So
Yeah.
guys, I go to the locker room. I'm like, yo, who are you? Like I don't even know these cats, bro. Like
And where is my
oh,
number
yeah,
23?
I'm like, I'm like, bro, where's 23? Oh, Avery got it. All right, cool. I'll get 31, I guess. And then it's just like we're just playing with a bunch of guys that were just like off the street, really, because I
That was a
came,
weird year. A
yeah,
really weird year towards the end.
yeah. My first game back, like I had to play because Chuck got my first week there, Chuck missed that game against Green Bay because he had COVID, so I had to play
And
like
Huntley
the
was
first
playing at
game.
that point, right?
Yeah, Huntley was there. Yeah,
Right. Lamar
Huntley
got
was
hurt.
starting. Yeah, so but the crazy thing is we still had an opportunity to make the playoffs. Like
Yeah.
we were still in the
In
hunt
every game.
and we were literally in every game
It
and
was
we're playing.
heartbreak after heartbreak.
Yeah, it really was. Like Green Bay, like that went down to the wire. Um and then I think the next week was Cincy. That was disgusting. Like what was going on in that game. I think they threw for like
The
almost
Rams
500.
game, though, lost by
Oh,
one.
The Rams game. Oh man.
OT lost to the Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers. Oh
Like,
yeah, but we were just in the game on like all those games, and like
yeah.
I was able to contribute and come in and help. I mean, I ended up starting like the second half of the Bengals game. Like I just let loose. I was talking so much trash to Joe Burrow, Jamar Jamar Chase. I'm calling them all types of names. Like yeah, I'm back. They're like, you're old now. I'm like, shut up, bro. Like I'm here. I'm here right now. I don't care how old I am. Like I was really on some like other stuff that game. Really that whole year, bro. I was just so excited to be back. Like in the facility, like in Baltimore. I was just so happy to be back, bro. Like I let loose, and like I think once I came back, like from my injury in like 21, that's when I really started. Like I I don't need to worry about anything else that's going on. Like none of that matters. I just want to play, and I just want to be on the field. Like I don't need to stress about who's getting cut, who's kind of like I don't like the stress. The more I play with like stress free, the better I played, and I started to just play loose and free. So
And you were playing special teams at that
yeah,
point too,
yeah, I
right?
was
Like
playing
just
special teams.
anything to be on the field, it didn't matter.
Exactly. It was special teams.
That's what I think when I think back to you coming back, and it wasn't just TJ's back, it's TJ's back and he's willing to do whatever to help us win.
Right.
And that's what I think the fans saw the most, because they
Yeah.
were like, there's just nothing but respect in that.
Right.
And then one guy I want to ask you about, because I mean, he kind of grew as a coach while you were there, Zach Orr.
Yeah.
What do you see as Mike McDonald's left some big shoes to fill here? But what have you kind of seen as like Zach Orr's maturation as he went from a player to a coach and getting into a DC role so quick? Is it the fiery personality? Is it just, the players being able to resonate with him? What did you kind of see?
I see all that really. I see him being a former player. Like that dude was an all pro. And the reason why he stopped playing was only because of injury. Like
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if he didn't get injured, Zach Orr would still be playing right now at a high level. I believe. He was just that good, and like his knowledge of the game. Like when I got there in 17, I think his last year
His last year was 16.
16.
Yeah.
So like I'm watching him on film. I'm like, bro, this dude is flying around. Like this dude is whatever. And I think he's just like it was meant for him to be a coach. And like the knowledge of the game, the way he could really, as him being a linebacker coach, like him being able to have control of a room, like at that young age, like dealing with he had players like Josh Mines, like guys who are older than him, but he was
Right.
able to control, hold a room, and be able to, you know what I'm saying, come into the DB room and talk football, and we all were just able to just like, you know what I mean? It was just real. Like there's no fake in his game. He keeps it real. There was even times like I remember in 20, I think it was 2019. Like he would come and tell me like, "Hey, bro, you need to play better," like stuff like that. Like that, I know probably
That sounds
now.
like a defensive analyst. Like
Yeah,
he's not even in the
yeah,
coaching role yet.
exactly. And like probably players now probably don't respond well to that type of stuff. But like me,
Right.
I need to be told like that's how I like to be coached, and like that's how I roll. That's how I operate. Like tell me straight up what you think. Like I don't like gray area. You know what I mean? I like to be told straight up, and that's how Zach is. Zach's gonna tell you how it is. You're never gonna have to second guess. Oh, well, what is he thinking? Because he's gonna tell you. And I think the good players and the good guys can respect that, and I think our organization respects that, and they know that he's gonna keep it real, and he knows what he's talking about. So I'm really excited for Zach. I think he's gonna do well. I think he's got a good understanding of the system. Because it's really ever since Wink's been there, it's been that system, but Mike has put his tweaks to it, and Mike has really kind of made his own evolution to this defense. And I think Zach has a great understanding of it. I think everybody knows that in the building. That's why he's the DC.
Right. Yeah, no, I can't wait to see what it looks like just moving forward and him having his own twist on it, just like Mike kind of evolved what Wink did.
Exactly.
And, one last guy I got to ask you about while I got you here is just what you saw in the development of Kyle Hamilton, because he just went from like the step he took last year was absurd. And so, what did you see? Like, have you always seen that talent, or like, did everyone see this coming in the building?
I believe everybody in the building saw that. That's why he was drafted so high. I think they saw the what could be from him, like the potential from him. Like what could you do with a player with this size, this ability? What can you do with him? And I think they saw that's why he was drafted so high. I always tell him, I'm like, bro, you do know, like, I got cut because of you, right? Like I always tell them, I'm like, bro, like, come on, bro, you took money out of my pocket, bro. But no, I'm in a group chat with him, Marlon, me, him, and Gino, and we talk pretty much every day. But Kyle is
Please tell me you kicked Gino out though.
no. Gino got to stay, but he doesn't get to talk much. When he talks, we either tell him to shut up or we just don't respond. So like yeah, but Kyle, bro, he's a unicorn, bro, and um. I remember his rookie year, he had a little trouble like Miami game. Like I said, everybody has.
Yeah.
I promise you, every player in the league who's great now, they've had a bad game. Like, and that's really just what it was. I remember I was in New York when it happened, and I hit him up and just like, bro, just move on to the next week. Forget what the fans are saying because you know how our fans get. You mess up. Oh my, we drafted a bus. Like
they don't even know what cover 6 is. I'm trying to explain it to them, and I'm like, guys, it's cover 6.
I know,
quarter
bro.
half. Come on.
Like he's like, bro, someone wasn't even fine. I'm like, bro, I know. Just let it go.
It was probably me.
I'm like, bro, I've been there before, bro. Trust me. Just let it go. Just it's a week by week thing, bro. And the things that Kyle can do it can help any defense coordinator, honestly. Because now he gives you the versatility to be aggressive.
That first offensive series in the Cleveland game this year where he just gets the pass on, like, just what a game. God, he's so fun to watch.
He's so fun to watch. He's so good. And like his instincts too. And like if you look at him, he looks like he's like a basketball player.
Yeah, he's like long and thin.
Long, lanky, thin.
But then he'll come up and pop you. So,
but he's physical. He's physical. He's physical at the point of attack. Like getting on blockers and shedding them. Like I love that type of football. Like I'll even be tech. I was in the stands sometimes, like during the games this past year when I was scouting, because like it was hard for me to be up in the box because like I wanted to be. And I wanted to have my hands on the game, and like I would be watching Kyle, and I'm like, bro, you make me like want to go back out there and play just because of the way he plays. I love the way he plays. He's a Raven, bro. He plays like a Raven. There's times where I know he was banged up like in the end of the year last year, but he fought through. Like that's Raven mentality right there, and that's what I love about him. He's got that because usually guys from Notre Dame are kind of soft. So I always tell him, I'm like, bro, you're a different breed from Notre Dame, bro. So I really am excited for Kyle. I know he's going to continue to get better because he wants to. Like we were talking today, and he's still kind of mad about the Travis Kelce touchdown in the AFC Championship. I'm like, bro, I don't know if you could have had better coverage on that.
Maybe, a back shoulder throw.
Yeah, it's like Mahomes put that like in a spot really where.
So just so we're all aware, I drove 8 hours from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, and I'm sitting 17 rows in front of that goddamn pylon. Yeah. That game, that drive home on Monday was the longest drive of my life.
I know. I think we were all still we can't wait till week 1. I know that Thursday night. We're gonna get that payback, but like I was saying, that catch. I mean, I told him maybe you could have looked back sooner. He looks back, you look back, but
that was just Mahomes and Kelce being Mahomes and Kelce.
I mean, they are who they are.
Exactly.
He just wants to be great. He wants to be the best, and like I love that about him. I know he's happy seeing Antoine Winfield get paid today. That's it's going to be really good for him coming when it's time. But
Eric's going to have to get that pocketbook out. Just blank check. You write the number, we'll pay it. All good.
I saw like a meme. I don't know who did it. Maybe it was you. I don't know. Somebody was like, Steve Bisciotti is going to be like, get ready to have some stake in this team or something like that.
Kick him 5%. Do what you got to
do. I love our secondary. I love Marcus too. I love both those guys really.
Another guy that I don't think it's like watching the like he probably shouldn't have been playing for half the year, right? Like,
bro, he was
insane.
He was playing with one arm. Like he literally was playing with one arm. Like
there were times he'd run the alley and he'd literally have one arm folded in because he couldn't. And then I'd read comments and I'd be like, God, like we could have nobody out there in his spot. Like that's
his pec was like actually torn. Like I don't know if people know that. Like,
Yeah, no. It was
his
the
tech.
same thing with Morgan Moses. Like Morgan Moses is out there,
Yeah,
like, they're rotating just to get him through a game, and he's
yeah,
playing with either torn labrum, torn pec. And like I don't
exactly.
think people realize how hard it is to hit a punch
Like,
when you can't extend your arm. Like
exactly, exactly. But like I said, sometimes you just gotta block that noise
that's
out.
it.
You
Yeah.
just gotta block it out and keep playing
The
out.
real ones know what's up.
Exactly, exactly. That's kind of where it's at, bro. Just the real ones know.
Well, listen, TJ, you gave me more than enough time today, so I'm beyond appreciative. I know people
Oh
are
yeah.
going to absolutely love this. What's kind of coming up next in your life? Is it just family time, or what's kind of next in the life of TJ?
Uh, it's to be determined right now. Really, I'm working out. I'm training. I'm staying ready just in case I get that.
I saw that on your. Okay, so I was going to ask. I saw on your Instagram today you had
Yeah,
a
yeah,
workout
yeah,
video.
yeah. I'm moving. I'm moving around. You know, there was so many times last year where I was like,
Give me a
I just
helmet.
need to come. I just need to get out there, and you know, I wasn't ready. So now I'm making sure that I am ready, so that I don't have to get ready. And I'm just going to continue to work, train, because at the end of the day, nothing can hurt from me training. Like, I don't lose anything by working
Right.
out every day, going out there, and then maybe I get back into scouting. I don't know, but right now I'm just taking it day by day, enjoying the kids. They didn't have dad for a lot of the time last year, and I'm enjoying the kids and working out, training. Um, I I don't really know. I'm gonna let God be the judge for that one and let me know. But up until then, I'm gonna just continue to try and get better at whatever it is.
Love it. And I mean, I'm just saying, Baltimore's got a little bit of a gap at safety right now. We're going to need a vet at some point. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
I know.
keep that phone close.
The season is long and things happen. And Eric knows my number,
I love
so look,
it.
we'll just keep it where it is. You know that I know that P Squad they love some veterans over there.
That's right.
Have
That's
some
right.
veterans on P Squad, so we'll see, bro.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
thank you
bro.
so much, man.
Yeah, bro.
Nothing but respect for everything you gave to Baltimore and potentially more to come. So just
Yeah.
thank you so much for your time. And that's all for you guys. So thanks
All
for
right.
tuning in.
Thanks, bro.